Hey guys, it's Michael here, and well, here we are in the blood moon and gateway, and also the equinox seasonal change. Now, what you guys should know about these kind of changes, is they happen every year. These are completely normal changes. Like you'll have solar flares going off. Like there's always going to be some event or some season change that is going to be like this, that is going to cause some energetic changes within your body. Now, and also within your auric field. Now, sorry if I seem a little ruffled. I just got here to the library to get time for this video and studying for midterms and stuff. But anyway, to the topic at hand. Now, there's a few here, like we'll have Mercury retrograde every year. I hope I spell this correct. Okay, and we'll have that, I think, what is it, 4 times a year, I think. Solar flares also can cause these problems. Energetic gateways, and those vary of when those open, so there's no set date on those, and I usually just have to go online and find out when another energetic gateway is coming, or I'll just feel one coming along. And there's quite a few of these as you go along. And some of the problems associated with them is, like, for example, like the solar flares. You see everyone, like, their abilities go crazy. They'll have, lots of different things going wrong in their life. Same with retrograde and the energetic gateways. Now, what's in common with all of these is you've got higher energies coming in. And what do those higher energies do? They, like, for a time, it seems like sometimes your abilities go poof, or they'll be split wide open and you'll start seeing things, or you might be getting sick, or like all these crazy things might start happening to you. Like you might have a bad day with coworkers or whatever. And why do we have these? Because what's happening is, as those higher frequencies of energy are going through this, they are disturbing energetic blocks within our system for ourselves. So like earlier today, like I had a bit of something in my throat and a little bit stuff in my nasal passageway that was clogging me up. And what I had to do was, like, there were some issues that I needed to work out, and that I needed to say and clear those emotions that have been clogged up in there, and I hadn't worked up to go and find them. So these events are actually a very good thing. Like, they're actually telling you, hey, pay attention to me. Like, we've got to pay attention to these feelings and these sicknesses that come into us, and all these emotional things that start happening, like, like you're having problems with coworkers. That tells you that there's going to be some old emotions, and people are going to be more on edge because of all these blocks and stagnant energies within the body and within the auric field itself that are being disturbed. So these are saying, hey, take a look at me, like, so we can clear them. So this is supposed to be a very healing process. Now, on the psychic abilities a little bit, something you should know about psychic abilities in of themselves, or as an energy worker or a psychic or a witch, I don't care, whatever you are or modality you come from. That's why I refer to energy workers in my video, because at an all base level, we work with whatever you like to call it, energy, prana, magic with a K. We all work with energy at some level, and so, like, that's why I refer to everything as energy in my videos. So how do you deal with these times? Well, one thing you can do is, like, for example, if you really want to, is start clearing these things if you're getting sick in these areas. Now pay attention where you're getting sick. Like, for example, in my throat, I had something I wanted to say to some people or speak out. So, and also in my nose, there are some, like, I guess some areas that I, like up here, it kind of deals more with the third eye. If you have anything kind of up here or you're breathing in, it's to deal with your perception of things. And, you know, there was a few things that I haven't been kind of looking at lately, and, you know, I've been trying to put off just for the sake of things. And, you know, like, because I have a feeling lately there's been some people in my life that I really shouldn't trust because of what they've been doing, and I've been ignoring that. So it came at me in a bit of a blockage since I've been denying it all this time. So, and then there's nightmares for some people. Some people have nightmares because subconsciously during these times, at your subconscious level, okay, let's say this is your subconscious level here. Let's say this is your subconscious. Okay, and this is your conscience, like when you're awake and everything. Now, I'll get into this in a bit of a later video, but when you're, oh man, I spell horribly. Throughout these, you'll notice I'm a horrible speller. But like, you'll notice like brainwaves wise, as you go down, you start to reach into the subconscious. This happens right around like when you get to the theta brainwave state and you dip into the subconscious. Now, what is the subconscious? The subconscious, in a sense, is your higher self mind, that piece of your soul that is in you, that is telling you something is wrong, something that it always senses. That's why your subconscious remembers everything. Because energetically, you remember everything, every little thing you've seen every day, but it's just not here, up here in the conscious area, because there's some areas like that are not accepted. For example, let's say, for example, now some people don't like this modality, but I like the example of it. People that are awake will be like this. They'll have, this is, let's say this is their higher self here. And this is their lower self. The triangles are starting to merge. The identities of themselves are beginning to merge, and that's when the conscious mind and the subconscious mind begin to merge. So what does this mean all in a nutshell? When you go into your subconscious mind here, when you're down here in your sleep, it's trying to tell you something, whether it be through nightmares or through dreams, especially during times like this. And you know, there are plenty of other explanations for this, like when you have nightmares during other times or even during these times. Like sometimes there'll be entities that try to play with your dreams and they'll try to break you down slowly, but that's for another topic in my psychic defense course. Anyways, so now what do you do with these? Yes, we've talked about the emotional clearing, but what do you do energetically to help some of these problems? Like, for example, some people get really spacey and kind of out there and like, whoa, and they're not paying attention to anything. That's because they're tuned in to another dimension. They're accessing higher dimensional thoughts up here during the time. And so, you know, it's good to have that kind of, those kind of moments, but there's moments when you need to be down here and focused. So how do you be in two places at once? Well, you'll notice, like most of the time when you're awake every day, that your center of focus is right here. And you'll feel like your conscience is always right here. It's like, it's almost innate, like when you start looking within body awareness, that your center point of consciousness is right here. But when you're spacey, you kind of feel like you're everywhere. So what you do is you focus your point of consciousness back over here. So you're focusing your center of awareness back into your body. So you'll be focused in here. You're paying attention in this realm. You're not out there. I like to call those guys the space cadets. And, you know, it's like, eventually you'll get it to where you can be focused here and also there, but that takes some practice. So if you guys are wanting to, you know, be out there and learning some higher knowledge during this time, by all means, go for it. But just make sure you take care of the things at home. And so that's one way to keep yourself focused here. Now, for those of you that want to kind of lessen the effects of why I'm so harsh on my body, it's because at some level, like I was telling you guys with the blocks earlier, there is resistance to those blocks. Like I was resisting telling somebody that I need to go and talk to someone. When you throw away that resistance and you say, I'm going to go take care of this, or you say very clearly, like you can say it, or you can say it in your mind, I want whatever is happening right now to show me what's going on so I can pay attention to it, and it will start coming up in your thoughts, or it might start coming up in other areas to where now you're paying attention to where you can deal with it. So you're no longer resisting that flow that's coming into you. Now it's coming through you more freely, where it doesn't have to basically force a giant sledgehammer to get you to pay attention. It's pretty much like a little child. If you had over here, what are they going to keep doing if you don't pay attention over here? They're going, let's say, this is just funny here, but let's say there's you, and there's a little kid over here, and you're not paying. Now, what's going to happen if you stop paying attention? They're going to start tapping you. They're going to start tap, 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 tap. And eventually, they're going to really get frustrated. They're going to start to scream at you. Or maybe not scream is the other word. Or they'll start talking louder and louder and louder and louder. And, you know, it's a vicious cycle. It just keeps increasing in size until you pay attention to whatever's going on. So start asking yourself, why am I feeling these emotions, or why am I having these problems? That is a very key thing. So pay attention, why am I having these problems, or why is this happening to me, or why am I feeling this way with my throat, in my chest, or in my stomach, like I'm feeling awful in my stomach. Maybe you have some things with your solar plexus, like solar plexus deals a lot more with your own personal power. Like what is lately has been feeling like you're feeling very compressed inwards, like that you feel very small and you can't say anything or do anything, that, you know, that might affect multiple areas. So what are you doing to help that? And during these times, you want to keep your energetic vibration much higher on the scale, so you're more a match to the frequencies that are coming in. Now, yes, I'm saying all these energetic terms, but it is possible to raise your own energetic frequency. Now, for those of you that have been following my Energy Worker University, you saw in an earlier video, I showed you guys how to increase your own energetic frequency. Now, yes, there's the emotional level of things, and that's very helpful, but you also need to raise the frequency of your own energy so you'll be a match to it. Because what's happening right now is, like, the energetics are, let's say they're like this, when you're more like this. These energetics are trying to bring you up so you'll be more like them. One of them is going to win, and by far, that's always going to win. Trust me. You do not want to fight against Earth and nature at all, and those energetic frequencies, because Earth is the platform you stand on, or the sun, solar flares. Right. The sun has so much energy and a high frequency that no matter what, like, it's always going to try to tune you up. You cannot fight against these frequencies. So what do? You increase your own frequency, become more of a match, and you let the energy flow through you instead of going against it and resisting it. Because once you start resisting it, you've got a whole bunch of changes where the blocks in your body are being disturbed as well. They're still going to be disturbed anyway, but at least you're looking at them now. So once you've taken care of the blocks and your frequency is up there, there's no longer a dissonance between the two, and you can enjoy the abilities of this time. And yes, some people will have, well, their abilities are pretty much non-existent during, especially Mercury retrograde. And why is that? Because these high frequencies, when all those codes and energies go into you, what's happening is your energetic self is having to rebuild and make itself. So it's basically, you're under construction. So what do you do when you're under construction? Well, you have to wait before anything fun can be done. So during that time, it's just the wait. And you're waiting for that buildup to come. So that's why when you go through such high changes during Mercury retrograde, solar flares or this, that your body will sometimes shut down. And when you get higher on the scale, you'll notice as your frequency gets higher and higher, like since there's no longer such a dissonance area, you're not getting to the point where you're any longer your energetics are having to shut down on their ability level to be able to sense things and feel things around you. So keep that in mind. If your abilities disappear during that time, during retrograde or during one of these events, don't sweat it. Just, practice a little bit, maybe with some energy balls. And, I know sometimes during those events when I was kind of starting out, like I could barely create an energy ball during that event, and that was very sad. So try to keep a little bit of energy flowing through you, just to keep things good and keep the flow good. But, there is going to be minimal kind of energy flow, of your senses going out and feeling things during those times. So don't worry about that. Just try to keep your frequency high during these times. Try to increase your frequency. You can at least do that during retrograde or any of these events. And yeah, right now we're going through the blood moon gateway. And one thing I forgot to mention up here. There's also a seasonal stuff that happens. Like you have the coming of spring. Oh man, that's going to wake a lot of things up. Or the coming of fall or winter, when things start to really get crazy. And I'm still learning what each of those all have to do with the energetic system and what they all specifically do, but there are very big changes that go on in all of them. So anyways, for this last bit, I'm just going to show you guys how to increase your frequency real quick. I've done it in my other video, so if you guys want, I'll have a link for it below on YouTube when this is done. And I can show you guys how to increase your frequency, or you can start from the very beginning of the series and start to learn energy work from the ground up if you're a beginner. So I'm going to go through this. If some of you guys are more advanced and are able to get this right off the bat, all right, perfect. But I don't have much longer here. I've got to get to a geology lab here soon. Anyways, all right, so what you're going to do, this is a little basic exercise where you can kind of learn to increase your frequency. Now, for you guys that are visualizers, this can be a good technique, and also one for those who like to feel their energy better. But no matter what, feel the energy in your fingers for a second. Like for those that are better with feeling, focus on your finger, the shape, the feel, the heat, and the cold on it. For those that visualize the energy in your hand. Now, I want you to notice something, and this is a little subtle, but you can feel almost a slight vibration within the energy itself, like it's vibrating. That is your energetic resonance and vibration. So what do you do to increase this? Is for those of you that visualize that energy and vibration increasing. And for those of you that like to feel, start feeling that energy inside you starting to do this and starting to shake. And that's why earlier in some of my videos I had you guys starting to move the energy around. So with this, you're moving the energy, but you're oscillating it and moving it up and down. So that's just a little quick thing you can do with your hand to increase your frequency for a little bit, just in your hand. But for this, you want to take it to a whole new level and increase the entire frequency of your entire body. So what you'll do is you'll focus on your energy, start to increase the frequency. Hope I don't blow anything out here. I'm going to try to shroud the electronics so they don't blow out. I've already got my frequency pretty high, but I'll bring it up a bit more. And you'll notice like you'll have some sensations that go up here and the rest of your body when you increase your vibration everywhere else. You'll kind of feel like everything's like, whew, feeling a little high up here now. Just remember, once you feel a little high with that, keep your focus here, but keep the vibration up. Just focus, but keep the vibration high, and you should be fine with the event here. Anyways, guys, I've got to get to class. Have a wonderful week. Love you all.